So another Wembley dream is over as Manchester City triumphed 3-1 at St James's Park last night to knock us out at the fifth round stage and stop us getting back to Wembley for a second successive season. It was their fourth win in 5 against us, and they've now knocked us out of 2 domestic cup competitions this season. So welcome back to the channel, everyone. Result aside, I hope you're all well. Thank you so much for watching. I'm just recording this on Sunday evening because by the time the game finished last night, we're headed straight home. I had to have an early night because I've been doing overtime the day. But yeah, I've got no complaints over the result. Despite a fast electric start, Manchester City were worthy winners. They were comfortable winners in the end. Since goal from Harvey Barnes, we didn't lay a glove on them. It looked like a training session at times, and despite Man City making 10 changes and Eddie Howe only making 4, it just shows you the gulf in class. Because look, City travelled in numbers as they always do. It was a sold-out away end, credit to them. People ripped them for their support, but everything's so expensive at the moment, and as I said in my season ticket video on Friday, prices are only going up, especially with this war going on in the Middle East, and then we're going to get the budget at the end of this month, so prices are just going to go up. And the fact their fans still travel is credit to them, because they're like us, they travel in numbers and they're loud, and they're one of the best away followings at St James's this season. But the comparisons between the two fan bases is where the comparisons end, because David Hopkinson claiming that we're going to be the best club in the world, winning the Champions League and the Premier League by 2030. Maybe if there wasn't PSR or the incoming SCR, then that would be true. You could believe him. If you could spend what Manchester City done from their takeover in 2008 or Chelsea's in 2003, I'd like to believe that, but I'm sorry, that's just a pipe dream at the moment. It'll take a lot longer because they're the standard bearers of this league, and the gulf in class was there for all to see last night. Not only the money they've spent, and yes, everyone's wondering when the 115 charges are going to come to fruition. When's the verdict? Is it going to be October? Is that why I argued in my season ticket video on Friday that Newcastle are dawdling and not announcing any commercial sponsorships, so we're not having to put our hands in our pockets every season? They're waiting for that to see if it opens the floodgates. But look, Man City were able to spend when there was no rules, and well, the rules are there. We'll have to stick by them because we don't want a points deduction. We want to remain in the Premier League. And yeah, it just showed you the gap in quality, the strength and depth, the quality and the technical players they have last night. It's just massive, and we've still got a long way to go. And as much as that hurts, it's the truth. I felt a bit better the day. I saw this afternoon that Port Vale, a Geordie, I saw his celebration doing the Shearer, knocking Sunderland out, so that's made us feel a bit better. We got a warning early doors when Marmoush sent Reinders through, and it was put wide of the Gallagher. I know they appealed for a pen, but I don't think Malik Chow caught him. He was just coming in late to try and block the shot, but then we got the impetus. We had a go at them, didn't we? It was a great first time pass from deep by Tonali, and Asula, the hero of Wednesday night, he just got crowded out and denied superbly by John Stones, who's just recently returned. And then Barnes tried to get the loose ball in the follow-up, but then Kusanov put out for a corner. Trippier's subsequent corner came in, Asula headed it back, and Barnes tried to get on it. Trafford came out, made a meal of it, and Voltemada's header was cleared off the line by Nico Gonzalez. So we were turning the screw, and then we took the lead. And it was brilliant by, well, not only Tonali and Barnes, but Botman for his improvised flick to Tonali. Then he hit it first time, defence split and pass, the quality we're crying out for. Found Barnes, and then he just hit it across and into the top corner past Trafford. And you're thinking, let's build on that. We've got the wind in with sails, the momentum. But from then on, it was just all Manchester City. It's like it woke them up. I've just posted my the final words on my channels, but I've just said it in there. It feels like City were woken up from a slumber, because they started slowly. Maybe that's to do with the 10 changes, but then we just didn't lay a glove on them after that. Savinho tormented were all game. His running, especially, like Lewis Hall was good going forward. His technical quality was excellent on the ball, but at times he was caught out defensively, and it happened a lot with Savinho. Savinho was getting in behind him. Normally that's been teams' tricks against Trippier this season. I felt Trippier had a pretty solid game. But he was holding his hamstring at one point, so it shows you there might have been fatigue there, but with all the games. But yeah, Savinho tormented all night, and he had his shot saved by Ramsdale, but it was an early warning. But then Trippier and Elanga doubled up on Doku on the left, didn't do enough, and then he easily cut to the byline, pulled it back. It evaded Ramsdale and Hall, and while Ramsdale tried to desperately go backwards and claw it from behind the line, it was over the line, but it was just comedic watching it go slowly. No one was around him, and it just hit Savinho. He didn't even move, he was static, and it just trickled into the net. And City were really turning the screw from that point. Savinho made another excellent run through, and then he found Reinders, and Reinders just dragged it wide of Ramsdale's bottom right-hand post. And you were just like, for this point, we didn't see the ball. You were just praying for the half-time whistle, hope the players could regroup, hopefully they could come out with a renewed focus second half and try and halt City's momentum. But within 2 minutes, it was a carbon copy of the first, really. Nunez and again Savinho just combined, but that ball from deep, I'm sure it was Reinders each time, just balls from deep straight through, taking about 2 or 3 players out the game, and Nunez and Savinho combined. Nunez across the face, no one was there, and Marmoush, feels like we've opened some cursed pharaoh's tomb in a pyramid, because Marmoush, the Egyptian, keeps scoring against her. He's like our chief tormentor at the moment. The ball just came across, carbon copy of the first goal, he was there, one touch, rifled in at the back of the net. And then City kept having chances. There was one where Reinders was aiming for the bottom corner and Hall blocked it, but it was going wide. But then the game was killed as a contest where Marmoush scored from range past Ramsdale, and Howe made some changes, tried to bring players up. He should have started Joe Linton. We're badly missing him. You can tell we're still missing the likes of Bruno and Miley in there, but he should have brought Joe Linton on much sooner. I felt he should have started him, but you can tell he is prioritising, the way he said after the match, our biggest game ever. I mean, maybe in his tenure, but I don't think it's our biggest game ever, because we have won trophies before, like the cup final last year. And understand what he's trying to say in some context, that it's Barcelona. But yeah, the substitutions didn't do much when he brought them on. Gordon came on when the game was already done. And the baffling one where he brought on Dan Burn at left back and immediately conceded, and he stuck Lewis Hall right back, who was our best defender and ball carrier going forward, and that would just negated him. Willock was ineffective. Tonali's energy got out of jail so many times. We would have been overrun properly if Tonali wasn't in there, even though he faded as the game went on, a bit like Hall. Chow was all right, I suppose, in defence. Botman was lackadaisical with his passing. He'd done one good crossfield pass to Trippier, but yeah, he was lackadaisical. Nothing Ramsdale could do about the goals. Trippier was decent, but he pulled his hamstring. It looked like it was tight early on. He ran it off. But I can't really criticise Trippier too much, despite Doku getting past him and Elanga for the opening goal. Sula ineffective. He's a player who's chaos and needs to come on with his running, and he just causes havoc. He's someone you need to bring on when the game's stretched. He's not someone who can keep his shape and is disciplined at the start of a game against a quality team like City. And Barnes, yeah, after Barnes' goal, City just locked him down. He didn't have a sniff. And the other players who came on didn't make any impact. So yeah, Howe made bizarre changes. Looked like he ran out of ideas. And City, like I said, first half was tough watch after they scored the equaliser, but the second half was like a training session. It was a procession for them, and we just never looked like getting back into it, and we're bowed out with a whimper. So yeah, that's another avenue closed of getting back to a cup final, but we can't dwell on it, can we? We've got Tuesday night, we've got Barcelona under the lights. That game is massive. We're not going to win the Champions League, I want to say that now, but we'll have to turn up and be competitive, and we'll have to be going over to Spain. Look, I'm not saying to get through this tie is impossible. Of course it's not. Hansi Flick plays a really high line for Barcelona. We can get at them. We showed that in the game in the league phase here. But yeah, we just hope we're putting a very good performance. We can't be dwelling. It's not a game where you can just dwell on last night's results. We'll have to get over it. We'll have to go again against Barcelona. Jacob Ramsey will be back, who I felt we missed yesterday. because he's good on the ball. He's very progressive. But yeah, Barcelona will be a massive test, especially like you saw when they were here. The midfield was controlled by Pedri and De Jong. I just hope Rashford doesn't score 2 more worldies like last time. But what a game that'll be. The atmosphere will be a cacophony. Everyone will be up for it, and we'll have to just put in a performance. And look, if Barcelona win, as long as we've turned up, that's all we're asked. Put the effort in. Just put the effort in, play for the badge on the front. And if you lose, then fair enough, it's Barcelona. But we want to be hopefully taking a lead over to the Nou Camp. But sandwiched in between, that'll be Chelsea somewhere we never win. Then it's the derby. And look, I want to say this right now before anyone jumps on the comments when I say this first part. But Eddie Howe's future is going to be determined by, one, I think in part the Barcelona games. Like I said, we've got to turn up. This is our last chance of getting any form of Europe, even though I don't think, being honest, we're not going to win the Champions League. We're not good enough to. Like, I know we've kind of, you could say, on the easier side of the draw, but Atletico Madrid have just recently beat Barcelona, I'm sure 5-0. They're no mugs under Simeone. Arsenal is still in there. And then we could meet City in the final if we somehow got there, and Bayern Munich as well. So yeah, it's not a competition I think we'll win, but even though it's our last route into Europe, we're not going to do it in the league, in my opinion. Could we still get conference? I think we're 7 points off it. Maybe, but it's not a glamour competition. Do players want to play in it? I don't think so. You don't get any real money for it. You don't build your coefficient. So yeah, it's a chance to win a trophy, which we should win if we entered it. But I don't think we really want to be in that. And it just makes a mockery of Hopkinson's 2030 comments. We want to be in Europe every season, but last summer's window was a disaster. And not only a commercial sponsorship's a massive thing this summer, we need to hear this training ground news. Some point we need to hear the stadium news. We need something to lift with and want players to come here, and also we key players to stay. And then Howe's future will also be determined on the derby. If he gets the league double done over him by Sunderland, well, I want him to stay and see the season out for everything he's give way. And in part, he is responsible for this poor season, but he's also got enough credit in the bank for me. And there's mitigation outside of him why this season's been poor and underwhelming, only being 12th in the league. But it's going to be determined by Barcelona. Will we put up a fight? Can we get through? Keep some part of this season alive? But if we lose the derby, he could be gone. You can't lose twice to Sunderland. You can't. That game is massive. In this month, still massive. Barcelona twice to come. Chelsea in between, then the derby. But who would be my 3 best players? Third place, I'd probably give to Harvey Barnes. He scored the goal to put in the lead, even though he done nothing after. Goals are always important. Second place, I'd give to Sandro Tonali. His energy, he's pressing, he's tracking back in midfield were key before he faded. In first place, probably Lewis Hall, even though I know he didn't stop the cross for the second goal. And he tried to block it for the first, but he was good on the ball going forward. But Eddie Howe wasted him when he moved him to right back. That's it from me for now. Please do like, comment, share and subscribe. And please do hype the channel by swiping right when you're not in full screen mode and hitting that hype button. And if you want to be informed when the latest videos have been uploaded to the channel, please hit the notification bell and click all. And I will see you on the next one. Have a good start to your working week, everyone. Good night.